Previously on the Death Saving Bros podcast. You guys had made it to Principium, made your way to the area where you recall the cave of the circlet of the Diadem Exorius was in the past. Where the cave entrance should have been, there is now one of those sloping walls.
Are we pretty confident that this is exactly where we want to get through this wall?
No.
Alright, I want to find a guard. Just look like 300% done with any shit. Just be like, hey man, they didn't really tell us what we need to do. They were just like, go look at these walls ASAP. We just need to get in.
Guard goes, no problem. Here, and he unlatches the door. Go on in. There is a service hatch that leads down.
Just the one that leads down?
There's one that also leads up.
I guess we're going down.
We'll call it the west end of the corridor. You can see a metal door, and at the east end of the hallway, there is a panel with a bunch of levers on it.
I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just waiting for instruction.
I just grab a random lever and pull it.
No!
Based off of what we remember, do we know like what direction-ish that the staff key slot was?
You're pretty sure that you're deeper underground than you were when you originally went into the cave. We're switching guards. We need you to come back up. What exactly is it you're down there trying to do?
I'm inspecting some walls.
Well, I hope they're not trying to build a new tower. That'll cut right into the ballroom of the Alistair family.
What do you actually know about that family?
They've got all sorts of magical objects that they used to blackmail the king.
Me and Ambionais, I think we should double Warhammer this wall, huh?
Behind the bricks, you see natural earth.
On the west side of the corridor. Peek my head through that door.
Inside, you find a ladder.
Let's try going up.
And you find yourself in a wine cellar. And face to face with an entire kitchen staff. Have you lost your way from the party upstairs?
I'm gonna head towards the party.
So you guys leave the kitchen, and you can see the magnificent ballroom. And hanging from the ceiling, a chandelier. At the very tip of that chandelier is the circlet of the Diadem Exorius. Welcome to another episode of the Death Saving Bros podcast. I am your host and dungeon master, Paul Camper. With me today, I have Ben Renfro.
What does a robot do at the end of a one-night stand? He puts his nuts on Paul's forehead and then bolts out of there.
I hate that was actually kind of good. Matt Smith.
Why are drag races illegal? Because you need to be slow and careful and deliberate when you drag your nuts across Paul's forehead.
Brad Renfro.
A clown boy, half clown, half cowboy, would say, "Ye honk."
Eric Nemeth.
So I got a deal for all of our fans right now. If you send me a message on Instagram, I'll send you back my Venmo. You Venmo anything under $100 and you get a picture of me. Anything over $100 and you get a candid, hand-painted portrait of all of us dragging on nuts across Paul's face.
And Brad Richards.
Do you like go to bed at night thinking tomorrow's gonna be a good day? You wake up in the morning, what terrible joke can I say Sunday to really just kick Brad right in the nut bag? Because I don't even remember what the fuck you just said.
Ye honk, I believe.
Was it the cowboy clown? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, some good homie family fun here, yeah.
It was just fucking awful.
Good home family entertainment. That's what we accomplish here on our 5th edition actual play Dungeons & Dragons podcast.
We
Hold
sure
on, hold
fucking
on.
do.
Ye honk.
Did you
to
say
that.
a family? If there's a family that's letting the small children listen to us, you are a terrible parent.
Does every family have small children? What about an older family?
No.
If their kids are like older, yeah, listen to us.
We're
Corrupt
good
them.
for listening while you're making a family.
Ooh. Oh my god.
Can we have one episode where we're very sensual?
That's every
you
episode.
Mean one episode? You're not talking about every single episode, especially at the beginning when you're talking about dragging your nuts across my forehead?
No.
No. One episode specifically for lovemaking.
You find that sensual?
Just the only thing in the background after you guys are talking is just
Or we just all start talking like Barry White with smooth jazz playing in the background.
So just
I roll for seduction. And I roll real good. Real good.
I just rolled a natural 20. And that's some good stuff I'm going to give you.
You got a critical hit on my heart.
Maybe we'll make a sensual track for our Patreon content. All right, let's go ahead and get into the episode itself. How's that? So last time on the Death Saving Bros podcast, where we left off, you all had made it to Principium, the capital of Trugala Kingdom. Following your flashback memory, you went to the area where you thought that the Diadem Exorius circlet might be, at least based on where it was in the past. And when you got there, you realized that there had been a wall built over that area. So you went inside the wall, down a service hatch, went looking for the cave where the Diadem Exorius circlet was, busted down some walls, and eventually found your way into the Alistair family manor, where upon walking into this magnificent, lavish party, which is being held in the Alistair family ballroom, there's a chandelier, and the circlet has been transformed into the bottom portion of the chandelier with crystals hanging from it. And that's where we're picking up today.
Just free range there?
Yeah, you guys are standing on the threshold of this ballroom. I guess I can paint the picture again for people that may not have heard our episode in a little while. The ballroom, again, magnificent, absolutely lavish. The floor is inlaid with lapis lazuli and gold filigree, and it's in swirling motions evoking the changing tides or the wind, and people are milling about. They're talking, but they're also dancing, and their dresses and their tux tails are twirling about, evoking the same feeling as the floor. You have musicians in a gallery up above the ballroom floor, gigantic pillars positioned at regular intervals, and they're made of pink marble all around the exterior of the ballroom. And there are dishes and trays and tables laden with food, and everybody there is way better dressed than you, even Prothean, who is maybe dressed as well as the servants.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm apparently poor right now, which is pretty fucked up. We're talking like Jeff Bezos rich.
Yes, unnecessarily so.
All right, so I'm going to activate my Staff of Invisibility at this point.
All right, so you reach for your staff, and as you do so, you feel a touch on your shoulder, and a woman appears in front of you. She steps in front of you. She looks at you directly in the eye, and you can see that she is actually a tiefling. But it seems like her tiefling lineage may be pretty distant, because her horns are very mild, and they only protrude just a slight bit out of the front of her forehead and sweep up just a tiny bit. Her teeth are a little bit sharper, but less of like a fangs sort of way, and more of like a, well, I say feline, but feline has almost fangs too, but more of like a feline grin. And her skin is less colorful than Abe's is. It's a russet red, trending more towards dark skin tone. She is wearing a long green dress that covers one shoulder, leaves one shoulder bare. It's very simple, but clearly made of fine material. She is wearing a gold belt, and she has long brown tresses with green eyes. And she looks you directly in the eye, Jet, holds your gaze for a few moments, then looks at everybody else and says, "Well, I would like to welcome each and every one of you to the Alistair family party. Perhaps you would care for a drink." And she motions to one of the servants, and immediately before you, there is a tray with 6 flutes of champagne. She takes one for herself and takes a sip and motions that each of you should take one as well.
I'm gonna take one.
Might as well.
Guess I'll take one as well. Thank you, ma'am.
fucking down it.
I'm gonna introduce myself. I am Lord Frothian of the House of Greymane. A pleasure to meet you.
Frothian, the pleasure is all mine.
I do a little curtsy bow.
Oh, a curtsy. Well, that's not something that I normally see from men, but I appreciate the gesture all the more.
I was about to say.
Wait, men don't do curtsy bows? I honestly do not know this.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Men bow, and women typically curtsy, and she curtsies back.
Fuck. I honestly thought that
You fucked up, Aaron.
I done fucked up. I did not know that. I thought it was what that was called.
Oh, not to worry. Nobody here is paying attention. And she winks at you as you all laugh and says, "Oh, it's been getting so hard, living with the things you do to me."
Oh.
I'd still like to turn invisible.
While she's staring like directly at you.
No, not there. But
She does turn slightly so that you are only in her periphery view, Jet. And she turns to Abe and says, "I'm sure that you are all from out of town. You do seem to be a little underdressed for this event."
I apologize. My manservants did not pack the clothing necessary, and I was not expecting to be invited to such a elegant event while in town.
Ah, but Prothean, we both know that they are not your manservants.
I mean, I kind of am.
how does she know your name?
He introduced himself.
Oh my god.
And what are the rest of your names?
I apologize. I didn't catch your name.
Well, first let me hear your names, and then I will be sure to introduce mine.
I am Abraham Van Halen. I want to give her a curt little nod.
Abraham, welcome.
I'm Brixius Hammerbottom, and this is my brother Ambionitis Hammerbottom. We're orphans.
My name is Ambionitis Hammerbottom. This is my brother Brixius. We're both orphans.
Our parents died by demons.
There are many parents, but these ones are mine.
Not anymore.
Our entire tribe slaughtered.
Dead, heads ripped off, children murdered.
Only 2 survivors raised ourselves in the woods.
If you survived that day, raise your hand. And we both raise our hands.
Good visual joke there, Ben. Raising your hand.
Hi, I'm normal.
I thought the core would help me straighten out my life, sir. The core.
That's what I was thinking the whole time we were talking.
All right, and Jet, have you turned invisible while she was slightly turned away from you, or are you still there?
Oh, I poof vanished.
Okay.
We're on a quest right now to find the demon that killed our family. His name is Four Lears. Have you seen him?
Sounds like four-wheeler, but
Almost
it's
like
not.
a four-wheeler. Overdrive.
I have not seen a demon named Forliris.
He's going with this.
She takes Abe's hand,
Oh.
puts it between her own, and says, "I know that your friend's name is Jet, and I know that he is no longer with us.
Oh, shit.
You must have stepped out to the bathroom.
My dreams are getting so strange, and I'd like to tell you everything I see, but we have very little time." And she turns and points to a man who is being very loud and boisterous in the back of the room. And she says, "Can you see that man?"
I want to turn around and be like, huh? Who? No, I guess I'll glance over and be like, that loud as fuck dude right there? No,
Yes,
not at all.
I see a man at the back, as a matter of fact. And,
There's a man in the back, as a matter of fact, and it turned to a ballroom blitz.
and I see your friend Jet, and his eyes are as red as the sun.
That's not good.
Oh.
His eyes were red.
Sorry, I met some guys that were playing with the band earlier, and
He really, after the flashback, he really took that characteristic to her.
And then she lets go of Abe's hand and says, "Boys, I want to warn you. It'll turn into a ballroom blitz if Jet gets his hands on that circlet.
We can
Lady,
contain anything that happens.
What was your name again?
My name is Dalvia,
Dalvia.
and I'll be the girl in the corner."
Okay.
It's a girl in the corner.
Is that code?
No,
Does anybody know if that's code? for
he's
anything?
punning the Ballroom Blitz song by AC/DC.
Code.
That's not
AC/DC?
AC/DC.
Who the heck is an AC/DC?
I mean, Akadaka?
That's when I try to read any word. It looks like
Ballroom Blitz is by Sweet, not AC/DC.
I was gonna say that's definitely not AC/DC.
Yeah.
Do they at least have a cover?
No.
No.
AC/DC.
all right. So
What is your angle?
you said that Jet isn't here. I see him. You say if he touches that, everything's going whatever. Jet, what do you have to say about all this?
Jet's in the bathroom right now, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, we can control our friend, don't worry, but I just want to know why you say this, how you know this, and what's your angle. Who, what, where, why, when, and how.
Well, her angle is vertical. She's standing up right now.
I don't know angles. I didn't take geometry. We didn't have parents to teach us.
She says, I've seen this day coming, and when you appear, there's nothing left of you.
Good.
Wait,
That's ominous.
so how do you see the future? And what do you mean there's nothing left of me? Like, am I dead in the future?
While you're asking her these questions, Jet, where have you gone with your invisibility?
So this chandelier, it's just is it hanging like near the pillars or anything that I can get up to it?
It's hanging in the very center of the room.
And how high off the ground is it?
The end of the chandelier would be 30 feet above you. The chandelier hangs 20 feet. The ballroom is a total of 50 feet in height.
20 feet above? Okay. So I guess what I am doing at this time is I am stealthily I'm walking up the pillars here, and I'm going to tie a rope across so that I can just kind of like shimmy over to the chandelier.
Okay, give me a stealth check to see how easily and quickly you accomplish this.
15.
All right. Roll with advantage, actually, because you are invisible.
Oh boy. 25.
Okay, that's much better. You do this in rapid fashion, and so you're taking a rope up one pillar, and then are you just going to like walk around the edge of the room, like above everybody, or are you going to go back down into the crowd along the ground and then up another pillar?
The first option.
Okay. So you now have a tightrope above everybody, and what are you gonna do?
I'm going to tightrope over there. I'm just going to take the circlet there at the bottom of the chandelier.
Okay. As you do this, any object that's on you when you're invisible is invisible, but once you have relinquished the rope, it becomes visible. You are trying to be quick and stealthy, and as you make your way across the tightrope and you grab the circlet, you hear a cry from down below, and the circlet is in your hands. The chandelier tinkles and twists as you yank the circlet free. You look below you at the shout, and you see that it is the same man that was pointed out by Dalvia to the others. The man who is loud and boisterous and irate, and he has a few medals on his chest, like rank medals, and he's looking up and shouting and pointing at you and the circlet that seems to be hovering in place. He shouts out, "Guards! Someone is trying to steal the chandelier!" Phrixus Ambionitis, Abe, and Prothean, you all hear this as Dalvia gives you a wink and steps over and out of your way as guards rush from the sides of the room and from outside the room.
I draw my sword and yell, "Guards, follow me. We're gonna catch them." Can I roll a persuasion check, see if they actually believes I'm trying to help them?
Deception.
Steps, alright.
Because you're trying to help me.
Well, fuck. Natural one.
All right, you yell that out, which only draws attention to you. And, well, actually, it's not guards so much as it is some of the party guests have swords. And there are a few guards, but a lot of the party guests just have swords, and they all draw them. A couple of them nearest you kind of like make a line in front of you. You see the biggest, baddest of all of them. He's got a bald pate, and he's older, but it looks like all of his weight is still made of muscle. He turns to his companions and says, "You ready, Steve? Andy? Mick?" And they all nod. He says, "All right, fellas, let's go." And they attack you. Let's roll for initiative.
13. Woo!
10.
11.
I got 19.
14.
All right, give me a few moments because I am putting a bunch of people in order.
Sorry, guys.
They're about to get our teeth just fucking kicked in.
Why'd you have to try to jump in, Prothean?
I was trying to like distract them.
From what?
They saw him jet up there, so I figured,
No, they just saw something floating. They never saw Jet.
They said I figured like, oh, I'll get the guards to follow me down some random hallway.
Why would they run down a random hallway and not to where the trouble is?
Because I was trying to take a lead.
That's your
I'm
first
for it.
problem.
I thought it would work. Fuck you guys. I was trying something.
Yeah, I'm for it. Fuck it. Kill him.
Yeah, we can kill all the guys. We don't want Jet touching anything, right?
He said to be touching anything.
I mean, he's already touching it.
Is this about to be a clusterfuck?
Yes.
A little bit. Okay, so first up in the initiative order is Prothean.
I'm gonna look for the biggest guy around.
Biggest guy would be probably the guy that had called out Jet on the tightrope, but the nearest big person to you would be the guy that said, "All right, fellas, let's go."
They're attacking us, right?
Yes, they have lined up in front of you, and they have their swords drawn.
Well, my longsword's already out from when I tried calling them towards me.
Yes, you do.
Is I am going to slash at that guy's neck. Full on decapitation swing.
All right, give me a roll for that.
0 to 100 real quick.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
16.
Not gonna do it.
I'm gonna roll my second attack.
Doesn't your first attack have to hit before you can do a second attack?
No.
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 Where the fuck have you been?
Hey, I did not hit. I rolled a 7. I'm not gonna do the math. That's less than last time.
All right. So you go for the decapitating swing, and the soldier steps back, easily dodging, and
My second swing is going to be like a thrust.
he steps back, and his companions on either side step forward to intercept you, blocking your swing and attacking you in return. Ooh, I think that was a 17, but it landed on a 10. Plus, does a 16 hit?
It does not.
Okay, so neither of those first two attacks hit you, but they're going to swing again, and I'm guessing a 19 will hit.
It will hit.
All right, so one attack hits you as they start a furious flurry of blows, and one of them happens to nick you on the inner thigh, dealing you 10 slashing damage.
You said 10 damage?
Yes. And then, Jet, you are up. You are on the tightrope above the party. The guards have been called. Swords have been drawn in response to the call to arms. Basically, everybody's attacking. And that man in the back who looked ready to crack as he raised his hands to the sky.
You're doing terrific.
Thank you. He is below you, pointing at the floating circlet. You are still invisible.
Well, okay. So at that point, I will. Can I use? Do I have to be using my invisibility, like wielding that staff to be using the invisibility effect?
Yes, you do have to be holding it with one hand.
Can I dual wield quarterstaffs?
Ooh, that's a good question. So you can only dual wield. You can only two-handed fight without the dual wielder feat if the weapons are light. So I'm gonna have to double check if the quarterstaff is light, which I do not believe it is. No, the quarterstaff is not light, so you could only have one quarterstaff wielded before you.
Well, that ruins my plan. Okay, so if I tuck in the circlet, like, in my clothing, will that then become, like, invisible to the eye as well?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to just tuck it into my shirt real quick.
And it disappears.
Poof, vanish. But going to move myself a little bit further down the tightrope so that, you know, the location's a little off. And really throwing me off that I can't wield two staffs at once. What if one of them is a light one? Or do they both have to be light weapons?
I think it's just the offhand weapon needs to be light.
No, you have to have two light weapons.
Okay.
Both?
Yeah, on page 195 of the player's handbook. Light weapon in one hand, you can use a bonus action to attack with a different light melee weapon in the other hand.
What if I'm not using it for that feat? Like, what I want to do is I want to turn my... Like, I want to stay invisible, take my Staff of Composition, turn it into like an Indiana Jones whip, and then swing myself from the tightrope.
Yes, you can do that.
Okay.
As long as you're not trying to wield it as a weapon, I'll allow that. I would just treat the Staff of Invisibility as just an object that you're holding in the other hand.
Okay, cool. So I do that, and I'm trying to aim for the exit that we came in.
Okay, well, in order to change the Staff of Composition into a whip, that will be your action, which would end your turn.
Right, yeah. That's a 2-turn thought. So yeah, I'm just a little bit off the ways from where they saw the circlet disappear, so they don't shoot an arrow directly at that spot and just somehow hit me. And I'll wait until next turn.
Alrighty, so that is the end of your turn. Next up, Jet, you are going to need to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Am I allowed to know why?
Nope.
15?
All right. As you scurry to the left or right, are you going left or right on the rope?
I'm going to... So I started at one end of it, and then I got to the chandelier, and I'm going to be continuing towards the other end.
Okay, so in my mind, you're working from the left side of the room to the right side of the room.
Sure.
So you scurry a little bit right on the rope, and as you do so, you feel a sudden piercing, just the worst migraine you've ever had. And you are going to take 17 psychic damage.
Okay.
Damn, a mental kick to the nads.
And you feel like there is a spike buried in the back of your skull.
All right, so I'm going to be holding onto the rope a little bit as I'm clinging to life.
And it is now Ambionitis' turn.
Alrighty.
You currently have 4 sword-wielding individuals in front of you, and 2 of them are engaged with Prothean.
Well, that's not very
Congratulations.
nice. I want to engage with one of them.
Is our real goal here to fight these guys or to stop Jet from actually getting away from this and ending the world, probably?
That's a good question.
Why would he be ending the world? Maybe he just decided that he wanted to grab it quickly and you could get out of there.
Jet touching anything magical like this, I do not trust him.
Fair.
Too late. Oh, piss.
You could see I have an invisible tear running down my invisible face as I heard that.
Does it become visible once it drips off your face?
Wait a minute. Can I get mad and rage?
Yeah, of course you could rage.
Get angry.
Get upset. You're the sad barbarian.
Okay, so
You're just tears streaming down your face while you're swinging your axe.
A sad barbarian.
Swing
It sounds
warhammer.
like a painting portrait.
Okay, so I want to pick one of them. Does it matter? Okay. Nope, guy on the left.
Are you going after the ones on Prothean, or are you going
Yes.
after one of the other 2 that are in front of you?
Guy's on Prothean. Guy on the left.
Okay, so you step forward and you rolled to hit.
Thank you for keeping the moaning going as you roll when you're raging after all these episodes.
20, man.
21 will do it. You are going to hit. Are you swinging twice?
Yes. 14.
14 is a no-go. So you are going to hit once. What does it look like? It's been a while since we've been in combat, so how are you going to approach your attack?
Moonwalking.
Going to firmly grasp my warhammer, walk right up to this man with the dragging on the ground, and absolutely uppercut the fuck out of the guy on the left.
Okay. And how much damage do you deal?
Hold on, I'm not there yet. 14.
14 damage. You uppercut, and this guy is leaned forward just a little bit as he was lunging for Prothean. You catch him dead in the chest, and you just hear all the breath wheeze out of him. And he goes stumbling back, reeling in pain from your strike, opening up an opportunity attack for Prothean.
I get an opportunity attack?
Yeah, I'll allow it. The force of that swing made him step out of reach.
Is this the one that hit me, right?
No, it was actually the other one that hit you.
Well, I'm going to grab at his throat with inflict wounds. Because in the mortal words of my father, fuck that fucking fucker.
Opportunity attacks can only be a melee attack,
Oh,
not a spell.
I'm gonna try to thrust my sword into his throat.
Okay, that works.
I got a 13.
You miss as he goes reeling back. You're not quite quick enough to nick his neck, which brings us to the guards that have approached underneath where Jet had been. They draw crossbows, and they are going to shoot wildly at the area where they saw a floating object and somebody had pointed. They're going to roll with disadvantage against Jet. Does a 14 hit?
No.
Okay, so that's not going to hit. That's not going to hit. All the crossbows go wild. None of them hit you. Abe, you are next.
All right.
Just to reiterate, you have Prothean up ahead of you. You have one of the guards on him who had been called Steve. Mick has reeled back from Ambionitis' strike, and he is standing next to Prothean. You have two other armed men in front of you that have not moved in any direction.
All right. How clumped up are the four guys?
You've got the guy that responded to the name Andy on the far left. Mick and Steve are in the middle, and that's about 10 feet away from where Andy is standing, and then about another 10 feet away from that center is Brian.
All right. So if I have something that can affect a 10-foot square, how many of them would I be able to get?
Your best bet would be to probably get Mick and Steve. They are the closest together.
All right. Also, where we are, how much of like a bottle? Because we kind of came out like the kitchen entrance, which was like to the side of the stairs, right?
You came down a hallway into the ballroom, and if you're looking for other entrances and exits, you can see that there's a corridor behind the musicians gallery up above you. But other than that, there aren't any other exits that you see from this ballroom.
For them to come at us, like how much of a bottleneck is it?
It is, the doors are about 20 feet wide.
All right, so I guess I want to pull out my shield, and then I want to pull out my wand of good times, and I want to glance over to, shit, what was her name? Dalvia? Was that it?
Yep.
I want to be holding the wand and just be like, hey. And then I want to cast Grease on where Mick and Steve are.
Okay. And what does grease do?
All right. It makes a 10-foot square
Of grease.
of grease. Makes it slick. Real slick. Which becomes difficult duration. When it appears, each creature standing in it must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or fall prone. Any creature that enters the area or ends its turn there must also succeed on the same saving throw or fall prone.
Okay, so starts its turn or enters or ends?
Yeah, and then also when I cast it, anything that's within that area.
Okay.
So since that's from the wand, is it going to use like my spell casting save, or are we going to have it like...
It has a specific save that I gave you.
I don't have that save. Oh, I mean I do, and it's 25.
Nice try.
Dang it. I thought it was probably like 16 or something.
Well, thankfully I wrote it down for the Death Saving Bros content. It has a DC 15.
Dang it.
And you're just doing grease, you're not doing the additional damage with it?
Obviously is doing that.
Well, do we want to murder these guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or do we want to just get the fuck out of here
I was planning on
Murder.
murdering
and
him.
not have like huge ass bounties on our heads?
I was about to like slaughter these people violently.
I was gonna say, aren't there like a lot of people and then more people upstairs and like all this other kind of stuff and Jet's trying to escape? Like,
I feel like we should just try and dip out.
I think we should stop Jet from having whatever he has and then be able to dip without sitting here and fighting all these guys for 2 hours.
I'm just gonna grease.
Okay. They both fail. They both rolled natural ones, so they fall on their asses.
I chuckle.
It's a podcast, this is our podcast, and this is the mid-roll with your DM, Paul Camper. We hope you're all doing well, listeners. We hope that you're staying safe and healthy, and that you're washing your hands and wearing a mask. For those of you that were keeping track, I did say you'd hear from me on July 28th. It is now July 30th. I'm sorry about that. An internal miscommunication jockeyed our whole release schedule, so colored me embarrassed. The upside is that the miscommunication happened as those of us on the podcast have been getting down to business behind the scenes in recent weeks. Ben has been leading the charge on creating new items, story hooks, and supplements that we'll be sharing with you. You can look out for those on our Instagram page at Death Saving Bros. That's the same handle we use for all of our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, and Twitter, where we keep you up to date on all of our latest news, like how we're making headway on launching our Death Saving Bros Patreon. We've got content recorded, and those clips are under editing. The copy is being written for the landing page, so it's an exciting time. And while we're talking about Patreon, if you haven't already, you should definitely check out Will Savino and his Music D20 project at patreon.com/musicd20. Will is making original music for tabletop gaming and is even working to get some integration with virtual tabletops as well. For as little as $2 per month, you can listen and download dozens of amazing tracks for yourself or your current campaigns, including the theme created especially for this podcast, Principium. The page is constantly being updated with new music. I know I just came across a half dozen that I hadn't heard yet, and other surprises like an RPG supplement that Will has been working on with a couple of other Patreon creators. So, go check out Will's Music D20 work at patreon.com/musicd20. Also, if you haven't already, don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or Podchaser. Aside from telling your friends and family about our show, leaving a review is the best way to spread the word about the podcast. And your review will get read on the air. What could be better than that, huh? But enough with all the announcements. The next scheduled release for the Death Saving Bros is August 11th, 2020, so look for us then. Oh, and one last thing. Because I know we have some extremely astute listeners, I realize I forgot to have Jet roll for concentration when he was struck with Mind Spike. There are a couple other upcoming things regarding his invisibility that I messed up on as well, in addition to some physics calculations that I probably did not check as thoroughly as I should have. Please forgive me. To all of you listening, stay safe, be well, and without further ado, we now return you to your regularly scheduled programming. And it is Brixius' turn.
All right, so is Dalvia still with us? Just within talking distance?
She did step away. The crowd has gotten kind of turbulent, I guess, but you can see her.
Gotcha. My thought process is she seems to have predicted and dreamt all of this. So how far away is she?
From you, she is 30 feet away, and she's standing in a corner.
Oh yeah, she's the woman in the corner. All right, well, while all this commotion is going on, believe it or not, I'm not going to be the one fighting right now. I will, however, make sure that my shield is out in case somebody tries to fight me, as well as Warhammer. And I guess I will move over to Dalvia within my 30 feet range and gotta carefully think what I want to ask her in my 6 seconds of a turn. So you say that you've had these dreams, Dalvia. What happens next? What do we need to do here?
She turns to you and shrugs. She says, I don't know what happens next.
You said your dreams have been getting more vivid and realistic and real. Can we trust you? And I pull out my coin of the purified with the lotus flower and start casually kind of flashing it a little bit so she could see.
She looks at it and says, "You know I could kill you with a wink of my eye."
I don't know what that means. Like, literally?
And she just gives you a feline grin.
Well, this has been not helpful to me.
Then the last two of the gentlemen that had stepped in front of you, one is going to jump forward towards Abe, and that would be Andy. And then Steve is going to move towards Prothean and Ambionitis. He's on the right, so he's going to go after Prothean, who's first in line.
Does he slip on the grease?
No, he steps around the grease. Steve is going to roll a 24, so that will hit Prothean. And then a 19, will that hit you, Abe?
Hell no, it won't.
No?
Not with my shield out.
Dang it, why did I give you...
Fuck off, Andy. You sack of shit.
All right, and then they're going to attack again. Oh, a nat 20 and a 19. So they're both going to hit you. Prothean, you are going to take 28 with that critical hit.
Fuck.
And then Abe, you're going to take...
Wait, didn't he roll another 19?
plus his modifiers. It was a natural 20 and a natural 19.
Oh, shiz.
So you're going to take 13
Ooh,
slashing damage.
I don't like that.
And then more guards appear under where Jet had been standing, and they're going to shoot their crossbows up in your direction. They are still going to have disadvantage because you are invisible. Jet, does a 19 hit you?
That is my armor class.
Okay, meets and beats. So they rolled a 19, a 20, and a non-naturally, and then a 7. So you will get 2 crossbow bolts to you.
Do I get a reaction for each crossbow bolt?
No, you get 1 reaction per turn.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try to catch one of them. You still roll for damage. I reduce the damage by 1d10. If it hits 0, it's caught.
Gotcha. So the first crossbow bolt is going to hit you for 5 damage.
Okay.
Hold on, he gets 5 damage and I get 28.
Yeah, you got hit with 2 attacks at 2d6 apiece, plus 3, and then a critical hit. So it was actually
Oh, okay.
5d6 plus 6.
I thought it was like one hit.
No, it was both hits. So did you reduce the damage on that one?
No.
Okay. And then the next one is also going to be a 5.
Okay. So I do 1d10, and I negated it.
What'd you roll?
Well, I rolled a 3, but it's 1d10 plus my dexterity plus my monk level.
Oh, dang. All right. So, yeah, you catch this thing. They're firing up at you, and you've got this mental spike in the back of your brain. Just go ahead and paint me a picture of how this works.
Just catch it and put it straight in your pocket so it disappears, and they're like, what the fuck?
So, when I catch the second one, like the first one's going to hit me, so that there's going to be just this obvious floating arrow, I suppose, or once it becomes like a part of my body since it's inside of me, does that also become invisible?
It's actually a really good question.
Do you have ownership of an arrow?
That's inside of me? I'd hope so.
Anything the target is wearing or carrying is invisible. So I
I'm
guess you're
wearing it,
suddenly
all right.
wearing it because it is a part of you.
All right, so I guess the one arrow just disappears as, you know, there would be some sort of a yelp of pain, though, I would assume, since there's a spike in the back of my head. I am going to catch the second one, and I'm going to spend a Kai point, actually, to redirect it towards that one dude who seems to see me.
Okay.
So I get to do, it's a redirection with proficiency, and it's a magical weapon.
Okay. So,
So does that just count like I roll a d20 for the hit?
yep, it's going to be like any ranged spell attack, or any ranged attack.
Okay. 25.
That'll hit this soldier. And how much damage are you going to do?
Well, how much do those things roll for? You gotta know, because you're the one who shot them at me.
1d10.
Was that with an addition of anything?
I guess it'd be your dexterity bonus.
Okay. 13 damage.
Dang.
Rolled an 8.
So you, like, moonshot this, and it comes up at you. You grab it out of the air, turn around on the spot and then pick up speed as it comes back at this guy, and you wind up doing doubly as much damage as he would have done to you.
Yeah, I like spin around the rope and I throw it on while I'm halfway through my arc.
Okay, and because you were hit, the staff allows you to cast the spell of invisibility, which is concentration. So I will need you to roll a d20 to see if you maintain concentration.
Oh, tartar.
And that's a Constitution saving throw.
Thank you. 22.
You are more than up to the task of holding on to your concentration, and you remain invisible. Prothean, we are back at the top of the round. You have 2 of these armed men on you.
I love when there's 2 men on me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lunge at the one that just hit me and did that massive amount of damage. I'm trying to use inflict wounds on him. The 17 hit.
A 17 will not hit.
What kind of just nobles drunk at a party kind of people are these?
These
Can I use
are...
an inspiration point to re-roll that one?
No.
You have to do that before the outcome is told.
Oh, damn it.
Wait, do you have inspiration?
I have 1 inspiration point.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what for.
Well, that is good to know, but yeah, you already know that it failed, so you can't use it.
Alright, I'm going to use my second attack.
You can't, because you cast a spell.
Oh, yeah.
You can do a bonus action if you have a bonus action that is a cantrip or other.
Or move.
Or you can move.
I'm done.
Just move your arm right past where his face is supposed to be.
I'm grabbing my shield.
Okay.
My shield's out.
So you now have Steve, who is on the ground in front of you. By the way, Brian was the one that did all the damage to you. Steve is on the ground in the grease, and he's going to try and stand up. So when they start their turn, they have to make a dexterity saving throw, Abe?
Yes.
Okay. And the DC is 6 or 15?
Yep.
Okay. He slips and falls back in the mud, or in the grease.
In the good times.
And that's not their action, is it?
Well, trying to stand up is part movement, right?
Right, but is the attempt to...
I don't think it's counts as
Okay, it doesn't count as an action to stand?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's just going to then slash at Prothean from the ground, which will be a disadvantaged strike, but he's going to do it anyways. He rolled a natural 5, so he will miss Prothean as he's slipping and sliding around in the grease. And then Mick, who took that massive strike from Ambionitis, is also slipping around in the grease. He's going to try and stand up. He rolled a natural 19, so he will be able to stand, he'll roll out of the greasy area, stand on 2 feet, and then lunge forward at Ambionitis, rolling a nat 20.
Oh.
Of course he does.
And then he's going to swing again, rolling a natural 5. Also, Steve has another attack, so he's going to swing another disadvantaged strike at Prothean. And that is going to be a 15 plus 5. Does that hit you, Prothean?
Is that a 15 plus 5?
Yeah, so 20?
Yeah, it hits me.
Okay. So we've got 1 attack on each of you, and for Ambionitis, it'll be double damage. 19 on Ambionitis, which is halved down to 10. Round up, because it is slashing damage, and you have resistance to that while you're in rage. And then against Prothean, you're going to take 10 damage from Steve's strike.
I'm getting fucked up right now.
Yeah, and you think you can beat us one-on-one.
I am rolling terrible.
Jet, you are up on the tightrope. You have been struck by 1 crossbow bolt. You managed to fling back another, and there are 6 guards under you, and they have a better idea of where to shoot at now. Also, you have that massive pain in the back of your skull.
So that dude who I hit him with the arrow, hitting him didn't break his concentration of whatever he's head damaging me with?
No, hitting him has not affected you in any way.
All right. And I assume he just looks mildly inconvenienced by being hit with an arrow?
Well, more than mildly. He looks very, very hurt by the damage you inflicted.
Okay, so I would like to try to just use my bungee whip, which I pulled out last turn, and I want to hit it on this tightrope and then try to launch myself just out one of the windows.
You are underground and there are no windows.
We are underground and there are no windows. Okay.
The windows are painted on. You just hit cement.
You try to roadrunner Wile E. Coyote through the wall.
All you hear is the satisfying crunch of his entire spine.
All right, I want to do that towards the nearest exit.
The nearest exit to you that is not the main exit would be the gallery behind the musicians.
All right, so I'm going to be swinging past the musicians.
Okay, I'm going to need you to make an acrobatics check.
Cool.
And this will be your entire turn. This is going to require immense skill in order to accomplish.
To just swing and jump?
Yeah.
Okay.
Technically, any sort of skill check during combat counts as your action, but generally if it's like a perception check, I just let you do it. But this is going to require a full action.
The 25.
All right, 25. That succeeds. And you, Indiana Jones...
I throw myself off the tightrope, and then I just whip it.
Oh, okay.
So that it grabs onto it, and then I just swing it, and then jump off at the right time.
All right. You swing under, come up in a parabolic arc, releasing the whip at the precise moment so that you land amongst the musicians.
And even though I'm still invisible, I make sure to do a backflip and stick the landing.
Put your arms up like a gymnast.
And then... never mind. I was going to mess with one of the instruments, but I'm hell-bent on getting out of here right now.
Okay. I need each of you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
All right, I passed with a natural 20.
I had a 22.
20 non-naturally.
Jesus, what the fuck is... How are you all so high in wisdom?
Yeah, I passed with an 11.
We've been practicing for a month.
I rolled a natural 20 the first wisdom check today, and this was a natural 19. So I'm really not that high in wisdom. It's just rolling well.
I got a 16.
Yeah, I passed with 11.
All right. So the only one to roll higher than a 20... Well, Brad, you said that Jet rolled a nat 20?
Yeah.
So, Jet, what is your actual total?
Oh, jeez. That was a wisdom saving throw?
Mm-hmm.
My wisdom's +4, so it would be 24.
Okay. That is enough.
Wait, what was the save we had to beat?
20. So then I guess only Ambionitis and Prothean are compelled to do this. You are going to suddenly feel compelled to drop your weapons and surrender.
I think I need an advantage on this because my character is known to never back down from a fight or surrender. It's against my religion. I need a advantage roll on this.
Sounds reasonable.
I think that's a reasonable argument.
No, it's not.
Paul, you're fired.
You drop your weapons. Then you also see all 4 of the men that were attacking you, Andy, Mick, Brian, and Steve, and then 3 of the guards that were shooting crossbow bolts at Jet. They all drop their weapons and put their hands above their heads.
What the fuck?
It's affecting friend and foe alike.
So now am I just raging because my Warhammer's on the ground?
You're just standing there, your hands are
Just
empty, and you're
screaming.
just like,
I'm so angry I can't finish this fight right now.
This is like one of those Dragon Ball Z moments where they're screaming for 30 minutes of filler episodes.
You mean like 3 or 4 episodes long?
Bingo. Like the Spirit Bomb against Frieza.
Yes.
That
All right,
kind.
are we going to keep in like turn initiative order still, or is it kind of open after that happens?
We're going to stay in initiative since so many people actually succeeded, and I can't believe that you did. I mean, I do, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Translation, I tried so hard to railroad you guys, and...
I was just
yourselves.
going to make the statement, who do we see that doesn't drop their weapons? Other than, of course, myself, Abe, and Jet.
You don't see me.
Within like the party and everything like that and everything that's going on, like...
The only people that you see that don't drop their weapons are 3 of the people that were shooting crossbow bolts at the tightrope. 3 of them, and then Eubrixius and Abe.
So it's like It's almost like a random thing. It doesn't look like there's like somebody like who was in charge or anything like that like put a spell on everybody else and like started to like take control of everybody or anything like that. It just like looks like a random mishap at a party where it's like, what's going on here?
On your turn, you can make a in-depth perception check.
Okay, I guess I'll wait for my turn to start doing stuff.
Ambionitis, you are compelled to drop your weapon and surrender. You do so, and because you do not take damage and you do not attack anything this turn, you fall out of rage. You are no longer screaming like Dragon Ball Z.
Man, feel so calm.
And then the guards that, as I said before, the guards that were underneath the tightrope, they also drop their weapons and surrender. And then Abe, you do not feel compelled, and you see this happening to two of your companions and some of the guards, and it's your turn.
Well, I guess I'm going to be very confused, but I'm going to take the lull to try and at least figure out where Jet is right now. And I'm going to flip up my eye patch and use some true sight.
Ooh, all right.
Oh.
I forgot that you can do that. I like it, though.
And while I'm looking for Jet, I also want to glance around and like see if there's anything else goofy.
Okay.
Does Mickey also have Goofies here?
Then go ahead and make a perception check for me, because you couldn't see him before.
And Jet's very sneaky.
They're sneaky.
15.
All right, I think that's good enough. You are looking over the crowd. You don't see anything that pops out specifically at you other than what you were originally looking for, which is first and foremost Jet. You see that Jet has just landed. You actually catch his backflip and him sticking the landing as he lands in the musicians' gallery.
I give a little clap.
Somebody saw it.
Yes. That was me clapping,
Oh, okay.
but not with my hands.
And then Brixius. Abe just spent his turn making a perception check. What are you perceiving?
Yeah, well...
Oh, once I see where he is, I want to... So, I see that Ambionitis and Prothean are both fucked up right now, right?
Yes.
Alright, and I see that Brixius isn't. Or he seems normal at the moment.
One of his eyes glances over to you.
Yeah, yes. Brixius has not dropped his... Well, he never really drew his weapon, but he hasn't dropped his shield.
Alright, I want to... Once I see where Jet is, I want to try and get, like, his attention. Like Brixius. And try and, like, motion that Jet is over there without being like...
Do it in bird calls. Wait, do you speak Abyssal?
I speak... Yes, I do
So
speak
do I.
Abyssal.
Not many people do. I just shout to me
Alright.
at Abyssal.
I'm just gonna...
I also
I'm gonna
speak
be
Abyssal.
like... Jet's over there.
Swear to me! All right.
Cool. Alright, well then what I'm gonna use my turn to do is just screech back first. And how far away is Jet on the other side of the choir area?
60 feet.
Okay. Well, what I want to do precisely is... Nice. Okay. I'm going to move 30 feet in the direction of Jet. First off...
Remember, he's 60 feet hypotenuse. He's above you.
Oh, I thought he came and landed on the ground.
No, he's in the musician gallery, which is above the party. It's about 30 feet in the air.
Alright, so let me ask you this. Not that I'm making this move right now, because I might do something else first, but if I were to move 30 feet in his direction, then try to cast Mage Hand, which goes an additional 30 feet to try to grab the Diadem Exorius off of him, would that not be possible then, because of the hypotenuse direction?
Yes, you could. The hypotenuse direction is 60 feet from you. However, you cannot see him.
Alright.
You know he's up in the musician gallery, but you're going to be at least disadvantage, if not more, to try and grab something that you can't see.
What is more than disadvantage?
Okay, now, what if I do something like I take my bag of popcorn and I have my Mage Hand sprinkle popcorn and I wait to see where it hits Jet at for a figure? Because I would blow powder or something all over him where you'd be able to see his invisible outline, but since I don't have that, I can just fucking throw some buttery popcorn at him and see if that sticks.
What if I paint him such a vivid picture of his stance and where he is in Abyssal
Yeah, the entire time I'm moving my mage hand, I am communicating, yelling back and forth with Abe, and he's telling me, like, we're playing the hot and cold game.
At that
Warmer,
point-
warmer. He's right there. You're on fire.
I'm just like,
Ah!
I'm just like, left, no, too much, right.
You could definitely do the popcorn thing, but that would only identify his location for anybody else that can act before his turn, because that would be your full action then.
All right, can we do the left and right thing?
Steady.
And because of how great he can paint a picture, it would give me advantage, actually.
If Abe had taken his turn to aid you, then yes.
Can he aid me as a bonus action?
Only if I get an action because you guys are yelling to each other, I would know something's going on.
No, we speak in Abyssal. You don't know what the hell's going on.
I don't know what is going on, but I know
We're
something's
on the other
going
side
on.
of a crowded
What,
ballroom.
you wouldn't even be suspicious about anything. You'd be more suspicious that everybody just dropped their shit.
I speak Abyssal.
Unfortunately, no, because I said that it would take a full action because Abe wasn't using his true sight before from his magical eye, he had to use his full action. I won't give him the aid.
Well, that's why I'm saying it's a bonus action.
No, because aid is a full action.
Interesting.
But, there are other people that could still act before Jet moves.
I want to be like, look with your special eyes.
I can show you the monk.
Instead of the popcorn, I can just carry a lit torch over there and try to catch him.
Well, if either of Brixius's eyes ever happen to look at the same direction, he also gets true sight.
Yeah, if they ever line up, like, the stars align, something magical happens where I can see shit.
You automatically get a plus 20 to intelligence.
All right, now let me ask you this. I know a mage hand
everything.
cannot make an attack for you. What if it was along the lines of something where my mage hand was carrying Siren's axe, and it just went right above Jet and then let go of it so it would fall and make Jet paralyzed? It's not technically making an attack, it's just dropping something on him. Where I float it right above his head, and then I just release the grip in no way to make an attack, and just out of luck.
Jet just happens to be there,
All right, let me look up one thing here.
Or
About the weight?
now check this out. So all you have to do is your mage hand just has to go over there, grab him by the neck, and squeeze as hard as it can. About a couple minutes or so.
Was it
He'll stop
5 pounds of
moving.
pressure?
Here's the thing, Jet. You might notice it coming, but it's not your turn, so you're just going to sit there and watch it
Right?
all happen to you.
Right?
Like the crane from Toy Story. Our leader.
Not even to say I'd even be able to hit him, but all I know from the very beginning is everybody's trying to fight people. But Dalvia told us, first and foremost, that if Jet gets this, it's going to be very bad. And then everybody kind of ignored Jet to let him get it. So I really want to make sure that he does not escape with this.
What is the worst that happens?
I don't
He
know.
turns into Satan and kills everyone.
Do you still
And then we
have?
start a new campaign?
Do you still have your the crystal?
Should.
Cool.
So, in order to make that work, you would have to drop the axe, and it would have to have enough force from the fall in order to pierce Jet's skin. That requires approximately 20 newtons.
What the fuck were you looking up? Where does this come from?
If you drop a hand axe, which according to the player's handbook is 2 pounds, from a height of at least 9.8 feet, you will generate 19.6 newtons. So I will allow you to drop the axe from a height of at least 9.8 feet at disadvantage to hit Jet.
What kind of conversion table are you using over here?
I'm pretty sure you could drop a hatchet from less than 9.8 feet.
Especially-
and it's gonna cut off your fucking toe.
Especially if it's a magical, sharp hatchet. I could hold it at waist height and drop it, and if it hits my foot, it breaks skin.
I have one question. Why are we using newtons in Dungeons and Dragons?
Because we're trying to be scientific here.
Pounds.
Dungeons and Dragons is very scientific.
That would be my biggest argument, is I can hold something level right out in front of me, and if I drop it, it can at least break skin.
Why are you arguing with me? I'm allowing you to do it.
Isn't a newton like 0.22 pounds?
Yeah, Ben, for that hypotenuse to go 9 feet above my head, that's much more than 60 feet. You're getting lucky.
What is the conversion rate?
Well, he's also moved forward. He's moving forward 30 feet.
0.2248.
And we shouldn't use Newtons in Dungeons & Dragons. We need to use Dragon Stomps per square goblin.
You said I'll have to do it with disadvantage?
Yes, because you can't see him.
Well, that's why Abe is guiding me. Like when somebody's helping you do a claw machine and we're talking Abyssal and he just tells me to go to the left a little bit more before I drop it.
But again, he didn't use his turn to aid you.
Well, when I said, hey, there he is.
That is aid.
Yeah, so he knows where to drop the hand axe, but he still doesn't know exactly where.
He's right there exactly.
Hey, he's
And
right
I
there
point.
behind the guy playing the tuba and he's about 2 feet behind him and over to the left by 6 inches. Great. Thanks for the accurate description. I'm going to go drop the hand axe right where you told me.
You have disadvantage.
All in Abyssal, one sentence. Actually,
Abyssal is a very efficient language.
Abyssal is one of those languages where you could say one word and it really means like an entire couple sentences or paragraphs.
You
so
have
when he
disadvantage.
just yells,
See, what I said was, there he is. But what I meant, because of, tone and inflection and everything, was, there he is exactly.
see, here's the thing, Paul. You don't speak Abyssal like we do, but I'm sure Prothean and Ambionitis both understood this exact thing as well. So, like, that's where this line is getting drawn.
Correct.
Yeah, the way I heard it was you were saying it down to the millimeter of where he's at.
That's what,
In fact, with such a great description, he should get advantage.
That's what I'm trying to argue right here. Because I don't want to go drop my axe and then I just got rid of the most valuable item any of us have.
You know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna reduce that damage. I'm gonna catch it, and it's gonna be mine.
Is it a projectile if it's not thrown?
Yeah, it's dropped. It has a
not a-
vector.
It's an object.
It has both speed and velocity.
Yeah, but it's
Off
not your turn.
topic,
And you've
quick
already
question.
used a reaction.
Can you redirect a howitzer?
Yeah, as long as I can reduce the damage enough.
You have disadvantage, Brixius. Go ahead and try it.
All right, well, this seems to be my best bet to do, so I'm going to do this. And I'm going to use Prothean's Inspiration if I fuck up. Thanks, Prothean.
The fuck you are?
All right, I'm going to use Prothean's Inspiration. Prothean. No, oh, fuck you.
I think I got some
Fine, use it.
inspiration.
Yeah, you can have it.
Because that was not a good roll. And I really think it's in the party's best interest to stop Jet from leaving with this. Not gonna promise this roll's gonna be any better. I'll earn you one back after I kick your ass later. Are you kidding me? I rolled the exact same thing.
Ben, fuck you.
You want another inspiration?
I'm gonna switch die.
I swear to God, you rolled another.
I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious.
No, here's the thing. Do you think this dice will roll bad 3 times in a row, or do I switch?
Switch.
Don't use mine. I'm rolling terrible.
Oh. What kind of attack is this?
This would be a ranged throw. So treat it as like if you were throwing a javelin.
Is this gonna have to go against his AC?
Yes.
Yeah, what's your AC?
What'd you roll?
Or just answer my fucking question
Just
first.
answer my fucking question, Vic.
Well, fuck Nuggets. I don't hit. I rolled only a mere 13.
Oh my god,
fuck,
and you
man.
burned 2 inspiration points with that.
Well, I rolled 2 2s to start for one, and then I rolled a 7. So,
All right. Yeah, the hand axe misses.
I pick it up.
it's on your turn. I'm just gonna yell out loud to everybody in the party. Everybody in regular, common language where Jet is exactly.
We all speak
But-
Abyssal.
But you don't know
So you
where
could
I am
just-
exactly.
No, I don't even want to do it just for us. I want everybody in this ballroom to know where Jet is behind the orchestra, and I yell it out.
That's what we call a dick move.
I yell, everyone, the thief escaping with a piece of the chandelier is behind the orchestra right exactly there, and I paint his location perfectly, and I say stop him at whatever costs.
Down to the micrometer.
He's right over next to the axe on the ground. Do not touch my axe. It is mine. I used it in an effort to stop him, but he is right over there by the axe.
If you look closely, you can see the light bend around his thick, juicy butt cheeks.
All right. So then Andy and Brian, it's their turn, and they have surrendered and dropped their weapons. The guards that did not drop their weapons are going to fire crossbows up at the orchestra with disadvantage.
Well, please tell me they're not just mutilating the entire orchestra right here.
Blindly into the...
None of them are going to hit because the highest roll was a 16.
So yes.
Do any of them hit musicians?
No, none of them rolled that badly. But the band started leaving before they all stopped breathing. And then it is Prothean's turn. He drops his sword and surrenders. And again, Mick and Steve have already done so. And Jet, just as you're about to reach down to grab that hand axe, out of the corner of your eye, you see a lone figure with a very elaborate velveteen tux, with his tux tail streaming out behind him and his buckled shoes clicking on the ground. You see that this is another tiefling, but his horns are large and sweeping. He is holding a gem to his eye, points at you, and shouts out a word that just absolutely destroys your psyche. And I'm going to need you to roll a Constitution saving throw to try and resist the power of the word he has just uttered.
How's an 18 look?
You fail. How many hit points do you have?
How much damage does he do?
How many hit points do you have?
Why don't you answer a question when it's asked you? Stop answering a question with a question.
What was the save? Higher than could possibly be rolled?
I believe I have 12 hit points left.
Oh, cool. If the target has 150 hit points or fewer, you are stunned.
I've never had 150 hit points, even at max health.
150? That's even more than I have.
What kind of...
Sick,
Jesus.
twisted mind do I have? Just to rub it in your face?
No, that's not at all what I was getting at.
Yeah, so you are stunned, and you drop to the ground. You can make another Constitution saving throw at the end of each of your turns
Wait, for what? Like to stay unstunned?
to end the stunning effect.
Okay.
The guy strolls up to you and he's like, "Ha, you don't have 150 HP, and you never will." And he stabs you in the neck.
Hey, that's how we lost Revan.
Yeah.
So, wait, how much damage did I take?
No damage. You're just stunned.
Well, so that's the end. Like, that was what, his turn? I still haven't had my turn.
Yes, it is now your turn. So you could end your turn and potentially end the stunned condition, but that's all you can do this turn. A stunned creature is incapacitated, can't move, but can speak, however, only falteringly. You automatically fail strength and dexterity saving throws, and attacks against you have advantage.
What does falteringly mean?
You're barely able to talk.
Like you're on the cusp of orgasmic release.
Is that enough to cast the darkness spell?
You are incapacitated, and the incapacitated condition means that you cannot take actions or reactions. And casting darkness would be an action,
That would.
so you cannot do that.
Alright, so I just gotta roll to end this, huh?
Yes,
And that is a Constitution saving throw?
correct.
11.
Do you want an inspiration point?
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
it's too fucking
I was gonna
bad.
say, if you're
I'll
offering
go to
one,
hell.
can I just use my inspiration? No, I'm kidding.
All right, you are still stunned.
It's gonna suck.
And then you're going to hear from the corner Dalvia speak in Abyssal. You can trust me.
Hey, he heard us the entire time.
Oh.
I don't know why when I asked her in comment in the corner, she didn't just give me an answer, but this is cool too.
Hey, Paul,
Yeah.
I feel like I should roll to maintain my invisibility.
You did not take damage.
Yeah, but he's no longer, is he like still wielding the staff in a way?
Yes.
Fell to the ground, would you be able to maintain your grip on it?
Yes.
Oh, being incapacitated or killed. You lose concentration if you are incapacitated or if you die. So, thank you. Yeah, you're no longer invisible.
Get fucked.
I'm just trying to play honest.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Do I get an inspiration point?
I will keep it in mind. I promise. I won't forget this. And you're going to hear Dalvia say to you, "You can trust me." And then you're going to see the man that was holding the gem up to his eye shout out, "Musicians, knock him out!" knock out the thief. And they're all going to lay upon Jet with their instruments and knock him out. And that's where we're going to end our episode.
They're all going to say, we don't get paid enough for this, and bounce.
I'd like to make sure my mage hand picks back up the axe and brings it back to me before anybody else picks it up. Great,
swallow the
thanks.
axe.
Now we stop.
Fair enough.
I wanted to do some kicking.
Kicking. Yeah, walks up with the tuba.
Nobody gets it.
Is mayonnaise an instrument? Jet just gets slobbered.
That could have gone a few different ways, I suppose.
They're going to be using you as an instrument next episode.
Yeah, it's not looking well for me.
Well, I hope that you guys enjoyed getting a little combat and that our listeners enjoyed it as well. I apologize to my players for all of the things that I had to look up to make sure that we were doing this by the book. But next episode, we are going to find out what's going on. What happens?
When Jet snaps.
His neck.
Well, you haven't been paid more than like a slave's raids in like how long? Do you get health insurance?
Yeah.
But no dental or vision.
You haven't been getting paid while we've been on this adventure.
Oh, you're using your vacation time right now.
Yeah. Oh, you're unpaid.
Well, he did get paid. He was allowed to grab something from the goblins' horde.
Well, that was more just a gracious gift from
I
the
was
King
gonna
of
say,
the Goblins.
Everybody got that.
It's being deducted from your wages, though.
Yeah, right. I'm working for free for like 12 years
Oh,
now.
man. Yeah, some magical item that probably costs like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of gold deducted from your wage of 2 coppers a year.
It's like National Treasure 2. You want to know what the taxes are on $2 million? $3 million. All right. Until next time, all of our listeners, if you like what you heard, head over to Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or Podchaser and leave us a 5-star rating and review. We would love to see that from you. It's a great help to us to help spread the word. But of course, spreading by word of mouth is the best way to get others listening to our show and to share this adventure with more people. If you would like to chat with us, you can hit us up on social media at Death Saving Bros on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or Reddit. You can personally reach me on Twitter at HPCamper or on Instagram at HPCamper.14.
You can find me at Benfro15.
I'm at Ima_B_rad.
Is it you or me?
I don't remember.
Rock, paper, scissors.
That takes too much time. Go for it.
You can find me on OnlyFans. My title is DBro6969 Daddy.
Each dollar you pay is 1 extra pixel of resolution in the pictures he'll send you.
And you can potentially, right, that's a fucking word, potentially find me on Reddit at Death Saving Bros.
Well, you can find me on the PlayStation Network as FATT-Smith.
And to all of our listeners, Wait, how does this go?
In your homes, on your phones.
In your homes, on your phones. To all of our listeners, to all those of you listening in your cars, in your homes, or wherever you may be, keep saving those death throws, and we'll see you on the next one.
To all those of you, is that proper?
Let me try that again, then.
To all those of you listening.
No, yeah.
No, I like it. Leave it in. Put
I
that
also
in.
just want to say, every time I hear it, I always feel like it's like a lost opportunity to say, yeah, you're always like in your homes, on your phones. Like it sounds right.
Getting
All those
boned.
of you English major are.
To those of you listening, that's what it is. To those of you listening in your cars, in your homes, on your phones, or wherever you may be, that's just too many things. Or wherever you may be, keep saving those death throws, and we'll see you on the next one. Some of the sounds and background music in this production are copyright material. The songs Big Rock, Hot Swing, Path of the Goblin King V2, Sax, Rock, and Roll, Welcome to the Show, and The Whip Extended Version are by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons Attribution License 4.0, and sourced from filmmusic.io. The track Silent Motion is music by Orchestralis. The songs Ambush Zenkorin, Blinkus Temper, Caro's song Instrumental, Gold is Meant to be Spent, Pious Vengeance, Principium, and Colosseum are copyright Will Savino and the Music D20 Project. These tracks are used with permission, all rights reserved. The song The Ballroom Blitz by The Sweet is written by Nikki Chin and Mike Chapman. Instrumental cover is used in accordance with United States copyright fair use, all rights reserved. The Death Saving Bros theme song is an abridged version of the song Run by Kai Engel and sourced from the Free Music Archive. This track is used with permission under Creative Commons Attribution License 4.0. You can read the full license at creativecommons.org/licenses/by/4.0/legal code.